Welcome back to Big Jimmy. You could call me DJ. I am out of frame, but that's okay. We're looking at the Pioneer today. This is by Chimoly. Chimoly, I'll tell you one thing already. I don't speak Chinese, nor do I read Chinese. I assume it's Chinese. If I didn't know what this was, I had to look up Chimoly Purple Cigar, and John Boy's video popped up, and that's how I found out this was called the Pioneer. Apple on a motorcycle.
It hits just right, then I'm puffing it, man. His name is Pig. Motherfucking Jimmy, light it up, no gimmicks. Both hands high, two birds for the critics. No gold cuff links, no swirl, no sniffing. Just flame to the leaf. Respect the tradition.
So full disclosure, Chimoly did not send me this cigar. They sent me the red one, which Pangu, something like that. I don't know, the red one. Good cigar. I did a short review on it, or a short video about it, but I guess I didn't do enough dick sucking in my video, because that's the only one they sent me. Which, you know, no big deal, no big deal. The red one was quite good, though. This, however, was given to me by Mr. Ape Herf Salvador Dali over at Ape Herf. So, thank you, Sal. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, the guy from Broncano, and another gentleman whose name I don't remember. Mr. Zeno? Mr. Zinko? Zunu? I stopped myself. It's not bad if you stop yourself, right? Anyway, this is pretty good. And I'm glad that Ape Herf sent it over to me. It's a very sweet wood cigar. Smoky, sweety, no meaty. It's creamy with, I think, mesquite is a very solid note to pick out that John got. You could just say wood, but it does have that extra smoky characteristic, which does sound stupid because you're puffing on a cigar, but that's factual. Yeah. Where the red band is a very, traditional, like, sweet, bready cigar, this is a little darker. Still on the sweeter side, but very solid overall. I was going to do another Frugal Friday video because, quite frankly, I'm only trying to shoot one cigar video a week. This is very good. This is chocolatey, this is sweet, a little bit of mesquite. It's like a dessert at a barbecue spot, but it ain't bread pudding. You know what I mean? It was as if they were like, let me pull that dessert straight out the pit. And that's what this is. This is dessert from the pit. That's unfortunate. I thought, it's not unfortunate. It's a good cigar. But I was like, it'd be really funny if this thing was bad, and then I could talk about how I didn't get any more cigars because I didn't suck their dick, and then I could just roast how bad this cigar was. I thought that'd be a pretty funny video. But I can't do that because this is really good. Personally, I like that red one a lot. It's very good. This purple one, though, it hits in a different way. It's very unique in the sense that you get brownie and you get cookout at the same time. Very nice. Up close on the cigar one more time. Very beautiful. I would call it a broadleaf. I mean, I'm going to look it up just to confirm, but it feels toothy, gritty, like broadleaf. It feels thick. That's the number one way, if you didn't know, at least in my opinion. And please feel free to correct me down below. The easiest way to tell if a cigar is broadleaf is when you feel it. It feels thick. Like, Habanos can be thick, but this broadleaf feels thick like broadleaf. You pick it up and you're like, oh, that's probably a broadleaf. Like, it's that kind of a thick. It's a very specific textured thickness on your fingers. Anyway, I'm gonna puff this down. I'll get some more information with you on it. Here's my critique of the cigar so far. Much like Definition, and I love Definition, the problem with this cigar is this. Hold it up, what's the name? The purple one. That's what it has to be. It has to be the purple one. Now, you can memorize the names like we all do at Definition, but that's the downside of not having it actually written anywhere. Is that necessarily bad? No, because I would describe Definition cigars as the blue band. I mean, we all called Kool-Aid by the name of the color, not the flavor. So, like, there's definitely ways to go about it. The times it'll get bad is when there's multiple cigars with the same exact colored bands. But simple solution, find a place to print the label. But that's not really a problem. But that's not really a problem until you have, but is that necessarily a problem for now? No. Anyway, I'll puff it down and I'll get into it. But so far, it's good. All right, we are here now. I just wanted to get into a little bit. I did look up the MSRP, as well as the makeup. It is a broadleaf, U.S. Connecticut broadleaf wrapper on the outside, Nicaraguan binder, and then Nicaraguan filler and Dominican filler. A blend, if you will. MSRP, too high. So I'm not trying to act like I know the history of this cigar or this brand. I'm just saying I'm pretty sure they're a newer brand. And to come straight out the gate with be like, it's an LE and it's expensive, that's wild. I say that, I reviewed one earlier this year. Good cigar, way overpriced, but it is a special edition or something like that. I don't remember. Cut that out, DJ. It's just interesting for brands to be like, hey, we have nothing to base this on, but this is the limited edition. Like, okay. The point of a limited edition is you have a long track record of editions, staples, that are in your factory, and by factory I mean like your stable, right? And then you bust out something different that's special. But if they're all LEs, and all you have is LEs, those are not limited editions. Those are just your cigars, and you didn't buy enough in bulk. Solid stick so far. The sweetness is dying down. Why do I think $16 is too much for this cigar? I don't taste anything like super special about the fermentation. I don't take anything super special about the tobacco itself. This is like a 10, with the size, maybe $12 stick. It's a similar profile to say like the Juarez by Crown Heads, but that's cheaper and quite frankly sweeter and a better profile overall, but it is similar to this. You get peaty earth with this, like some, like not even peaty, but like dank, some dank, I guess that would be peaty. Some dankness, but not in a bad way. No minerality, a touch of minerality, just like a sprinkle. You get some sweetness to it, definitely still. A lot of woodiness to it. And it is solid, it's good. I think it's overpriced. LE does not equal more money. Value equals more money. The problem is, as we've discussed this a lot on this channel, people who buy and collect cigars are dum-dums with lots of money. Dum-dums with lots of money buy things out of FOMO, and they buy things to make themselves feel better about themselves. I bought this because it's limited, right? They'll buy boxes of cigars that are limited without ever trying that brand of cigar before, because they can. Which, I mean, pop off queen. Is that how you do it? I don't know. I hate people that do this on Tickety Talks. I think it's this or this. I don't know. It's something. Like, it's like little clapping. I think it's annoying, but pop off queen, whatever. I lost my train of thought. I got distracted on burning people who collect cigars for stupid reasons. Anyway, it is solid. I will say that. It's a very good cigar. I would, having tried the myriad of cigars, the very many multitudes of cigars I've had, there was English in there somewhere. I think it was multitudes of cigars that I have had. Nailed it. 10 to 12 bucks. Even with the cost of inflation, 10 to 12 bucks. As an LE, 12 bucks. I'm sorry. Unless there's something I'm not reading and maybe I just missed it, I don't see why it's priced higher. I mean, it's a boutique brand, therefore they're going to charge more because boutique things, which boutique, let's be honest, really just means small and new. And the goal of boutique is to eventually become bigger. Maybe you don't have to be. Hey, point is, it is a medium-bodied cigar. It's made in Mi Havana, and it's got good quality tobacco, but anything amazing about it that I'm finding online. And maybe I'm just not finding it, and that's perfectly fine. But I don't have that, like, the chairman by definition is around, it's exactly the same price. It's 16 bucks, I think. The chairman by definition, you can taste the fermentation. you can taste the extra that was put into the cigar. So like, let's compare it to other $16 cigars. Let me wrap it before you tap it. Overall, I dig it, I do. I wish it was a touch, it's kind of wavering between savory and sweet at this point. And it's like, I want to be this, but maybe I'll be that, and maybe I'll be this, and maybe I'll be that. And it's like, pick a lane, please. But, sorry, I did focus. I do like having the camera this close with a wide angle lens. I can, haha. I don't hate it. That's not true. I like it a lot. Let me rephrase. Great cigar. I dig it. I personally would not pay $16. Personally, I don't know if I'd drop the coin on it, just because I know what's out there that's similar, and one of them is half the price. Because it is an LE, I believe it's an LE. I don't know if it is an LE. Is it an LE? Maybe it's not an LE. If it's not an LE, let me search that real quick, because if this is not an LE, not an LE, this is a regular ass run, no. So if I'm trying to get you to understand the price point of this cigar, I can tell you it's the Pioneer series. It's made at Mi Havana factory by, that's a word. The wrapper is Connecticut broadleaf, the binder is Nicaraguan, and the filler is Nicaraguan and Dominican. That is it. That is the only value given to you for this cigar. You gotta sell me on it. Tell me something. Tell me a story, baby. Tell me a story. Explain to me why this, which is a nice tasting cigar, and there, I do taste some fermentation, but not extra, not more. Tell me a story. Craft me a tale as to why this is the way that it is. Where the value at? Where the value at? Because if there's no value built into the brand, if there's no value built into the name, and Pioneer is a brand within Chimoly, that's a sub-brand, that's what it is. So Purple Boy here is $17 on some websites, getting ripped off possibly, maybe. Value? None given. Think of how many other cigars are made with a U.S. Connecticut broadleaf that have Dominican filler, Nicaraguan filler. I bet it's a good amount. I bet it's a good amount. That being said, it is nice. But it is the inherent problem with so many of these brands, with so many of these blends. They're like, here it is. Why does it cost that way? Because you'll buy it. And that's it. There's no value given. There's no reason for it. And you can say that with a lot of brands. I'm not just picking on Chimoly here. Chimoy, the Chimoy sauce. My wife loves Chimoy sauce. Not a fan. Tajin? I love me some good old Tajin. But you add sweet goop to it. Not for me. Despite the rumors. Anyway, it's a good cigar. I like it. I think it's overpriced. Would I enjoy it again? Absolutely. Would I gift it to a friend? Sure. But I'd probably give him a Juarez first, just because it saved me some coin. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about the Chimoly and the Pioneer specifically. Let me know if it's worth finding the Dynasty, or if I should review the red one, because I think I got a red one left. And in book world, I can be quite fun, but I can't really rip people apart. I can be quite fun, but I can't be too critical, because there are softer people there, and they don't take criticism well. Granted, cigar people don't take criticism well either. In fact, to be honest, a lot of these big, strong, burly men take criticism a whole lot worse than, like, moms writing fantasy novels in their spare time. Think about that, perhaps. Any hoodles, bye.
Let the good times flow, let the conversation grow. Pick Jimmy's got the hottest takes to show. From the lounge to the mic, we talk it all. Big cigars, high stakes, we standing tall.